In the heart of Texas, an aviation revolution is underway. Austin Bergstrom International, once a modest replacement for the old municipal airport, is now on the brink of a transformation that will reshape not just the facility itself, but the entire surrounding region. With the area's explosive growth fueling demand, a bold $4 billion expansion program known as Journey With AUS has been launched to reinvent the airport for the 21st century. Today, we're diving into everything you need to know about this massive project, what it means for the city, and how it'll affect air travelers across the country. Austin's growth over the past couple decades has been pretty spectacular. Once a small college town, the city is now one of the fastest growing metro areas in the US, with a population that surged past 2.5 million and economic activity that rivals the nation's largest cities. This explosive growth is reflected in the numbers at Austin's airport. In 2023, the airport handled more than 22 million passengers, a figure that far exceeds its original design capacity of 15 million per year. As the economy rebounded from the pandemic, pent-up travel demand led airlines to flood the skies with non-stop flights. Carriers like Southwest, Delta, and Frontier expanded their services, while new international routes were launched by British Airways and Aeromexico, among others. This boom wasn't just about convenience, it was a necessary response to a city on the rise, demanding connectivity to the world. Supporting this growth has required major investments in infrastructure. The city of Austin understands the critical role air travel plays in the region's economy, and is committed to funding the expansion through a combination of airport-generated revenues, revenue bonds, and federal grants, and more on this in a minute. But first, what exactly is happening with this expansion, and what makes it so special? The crown jewel of the expansion is the new midfield concourse, known as Concourse B. Initially set to add at least 20 new gates, with the potential to expand to 40, this project will dramatically increase the airport's flight capacity. A key feature is an underground tunnel connecting Concourse B to the Barbara Jordan Terminal, which will soon be renamed Concourse A. This tunnel will ensure smooth passenger movement between the two, while allowing planes to cross above. Expected to open as early as 2030, this terminal expansion is a critical part of the broader modernization effort. With an estimated cost of $1 billion, Concourse B will house all essential passenger and tenant spaces, including new concessions, passenger boarding bridges, an expanded baggage handling system, and even space in the tunnel for a future automated people mover. Beyond the concourse, a brand new arrivals and departures hall is also in the works. Designed to streamline operations, this facility will consolidate ticketing, check-in, and baggage claim into one unified space. Priced at approximately $865 million, this project involves a major reconfiguration of existing areas, such as the removal of the red garage, to create a more efficient and modern terminal experience. AUS is also upgrading with a new outbound baggage system, spanning 1.5 miles of conveyor belts and processing up to 4,000 bags per hour. This will help reduce delays and missed connections, with a total cost of around $240 million for this and related projects. The West Gate expansion adds around 85,000 square feet, 3 new gates, and upgraded amenities like dining, family rooms, and a playscape. At $165 million, it increases both capacity and the passenger experience. The atrium infill adds 12,000 square feet to the Barbara Jordan Terminal, improving security, check-in, and baggage handling to cut congestion. As terminal facilities expand, so must the airfield. AUS is constructing 2 miles of new midfield taxiways with several connectors to improve aircraft movement between the runways, terminal, and other key areas. These taxiways will replace the existing ones, which must be removed for Concourse B. Airfield upgrades, including utility and roadway improvements, are set for completion by 2027. In addition, a new fuel facility is being built to handle a projected 3 to 5% annual demand increase over the next decade. AUS is also adding a multi-level parking structure, the Yellow Garage, with around 7,000 spaces to address parking needs, especially with the removal of the Red Garage. To support all these upgrades, a new central utility plant and extensive campus-wide utility improvements are underway. These projects will be completed in phases, allowing the airport to remain operational during this massive construction. But now that we talked about what the project entails, let's talk about what it means for funding and the impacts it has in the city. Austin's airport expansion is part of a nationwide trend. Major airports across the US are modernizing, adapting to changing travel patterns, and increasing capacity. Since the pandemic, air travel has surged, and AUS's recent boost isn't just a rebound, it's a sign of Austin's explosive growth. But here's where this airport project claims to stand out. Unlike some regions using taxpayer dollars, its expansion relies on self-generated revenue and bonds. At least, that's what we're being told. But it's not entirely true, and here's why. Securing the estimated $4 billion investment for this expansion comes from a mix of revenue bonds, federal grants from the bipartisan infrastructure law, and ongoing airport-generated revenues. A key example is the $33 million federal grant awarded for the Concourse B project, alongside a recently announced $400 million in revenue bonds, both of which are critical to financing the development. But here's something worth noting. That $33 million comes from a federal grant, which means taxpayer dollars. Now, in the grand scheme of things, it's a tiny fraction, just 0.8% of the total cost. But it still raises a question. Can we really say the project is completely independent of taxpayer funding if even a small portion of the project comes from taxpayer money? As for the other 99.2%, ongoing revenue and revenue bonds will cover it, but that comes with financial pressures. Potential higher fees for airlines could mean higher ticket prices for passengers, though market dynamics and regulatory factors often determine how much that cost actually gets passed down. I talked more about this in the SFO airport expansion video, so if you want to know more, check it out. As of today, AUS lacks a direct rail connection. Instead, passengers must rely on bus services, which, while functional, don't offer the seamless transit experience seen at many other major airports. However, that's set to change. As part of the city's Project Connect initiative, plans are in motion to extend Austin's light rail system directly to the airport. The proposed Blue Line extension aims to close the gap between key urban areas in AUS, providing a faster, more efficient transit option for travelers. Once completed, this rail link will be a game changer, significantly improving airport access and bringing Austin's transit infrastructure in line with other major hubs across the country. While the physical transformation at AUS is impressive, its impact extends far beyond the airport itself, shaping the local economy, the broader aviation market, and the surrounding community. Studies suggest that adding just one gate can generate an additional $40 to $50 million in annual regional economic output and support around 100 new jobs. A 2017 analysis of the Philadelphia International Airport, for instance, estimated its total annual regional impact at $15.4 billion across 126 gates, translating to over $100 million per gate. And with Austin's expansion set to add 20 new gates, the potential economic boost is significant. More gates mean more flights, more jobs, and potentially even lower ticket prices, as increased competition helps drive fares down. But as always, the real impact will take time to unfold, so it's impossible to know for now. In a city known for its bold spirit and relentless innovation, the transformation of Austin Bergstrom International Airport is poised to redefine what it means to travel through the heart of Texas. As the project moves from the planning and design phases into full-scale construction, all eyes will be on AUS, not only as a critical infrastructure asset, but also as a reflection of Austin's vibrant future. At Buildcore, we're building America, one story at a time. We cover some of the most impressive and headline-grabbing projects across this great country, and with your help, the channel has grown to over 35,000 subscribers and reached millions of people. With that being said, thank you, and I'll see you next time.